Hello again, boys and girls. Time for another lesson on our mathematics workshop. As always, I am your teacher, Ms. Shamshideen, and today we will be learning more about money. Now, I hope you remember the quote I shared with you from Shakuntala Devi, who said, "Without mathematics, there is nothing you can do. Everything around you is mathematics. Everything around you is numbers." Before we go further into today's lesson, let's recap what we did on our last. We discussed that money is a medium of exchange, which simply means that it allows people to obtain the things that they need in order to live. We also said that money has worth because for most people it represents something valuable. The symbol used for Guyanese dollars are the dollar sign, capital G and the dollar sign, GY and the dollar sign, or we can use GUY and the dollar sign. We also discussed that for our money, the two forms in which we can find them are notes and coins. For the notes, we have various values. We have the $20 note, the $50 note, $100 note, $500, $1,000, and the $5,000 note. Then we have, for the coins, we have $1, $5, and $10. So remember, our money are in two forms. They're notes and coins, but they're all expressed as dollars. We discussed money that we find in countries such as the US and the Caribbean, where we have dollars and cents being used in those countries. And in most of them, their notes represent the value for dollars and the coins represents the cents value. Now today, we will be looking at calculating money and problem solving with money. Now, when we say calculating money and problem solving with money, it's basically how we spend our money. What we're going to be doing is trying to use those values that we find our notes in and our coins. So this shouldn't be difficult. Ensure that you have your book and your pencil next to you so that you could be well engaged in this lesson. Now, I want you to remember that for our money, our notes and coins, we can put it together to come up with any amount. And therefore, we could spend any amount of money. Now, if you have a $5,000, do you know how much $1,000 notes you should have? We should have five. Five $1,000 notes will give you $5,000. Two $500 notes will give you $1,000, and five $100 notes will give you $500. So that's how we will put our different forms of money to come up with an amount. Now, for our smaller values, we have five $20 notes will give you $100. Two $10 coins will give you $20. Remember, I have to switch when I'm talking about the $10 because $10 does not come in notes. It is in the form of coin. So we have two $10 coins will give us $20. Two $5 coins will give us $10, and five $1 coins will give you $5. Now, you must understand that for the operations in mathematics, which we know are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, we can do it all with money. We can add, subtract, multiply, and divide money. Now let's look at this example. I have a $5,000 note, then I have $500 and $100. So I will add those three amounts together. So let's see. We have 5,000 plus 500 plus 100. And let's add. When we add for the ones column, you get 0 plus 0 plus 0 will give us 0. In our tens column, we have 0 plus 0 plus 0 will give us 0 as well. And then for our hundreds column, we have 0 plus 5 will give you 5, plus 1 will give you 6. So we have 6, and we only have one digit in the thousand column, and that will give us 5. So 5, we bring it down. The total we have there is 5,600. Remember, this amount is being expressed only in dollars. There are no cents. So we always remember that we have the point or the decimal place and the 00 to indicate that there are no cents value. Now it's your turn to try to add some money together. I give you $1,000, $500, and $10. What will you get? Yes, if we add 1,000 plus 500 plus 10, we will get $1,510. What will we get? $1,510. Now I want you to pay close attention to how these operations are being set down so that you know that each digit must fall correctly in the correct place value. Let's look at number 2. I gave you $5,000, $100, and $1. Let's see when we add $5,000 plus $100 plus $1, we will end up with $5,101. Let's try this last one for these few problems I'm giving you. At this time, I'm giving you $50, $20, and $5. Make sure you set it down correctly. Let's see how well you did on that one. You have $50, $20, and $5. What will you end up with? You will now have $75. Now we will look at some more operations involving money calculation. This time, we are going to look at worded problems with money. It means that you will not be seeing the specimens like I showed you just now. You will now have to listen and read the worded problem carefully as they appear on the screen, and let's try to complete them and get them correctly. Now, here's the first example. Each student in grade 4 was given 10 raffle tickets to sell to raise funds for their school. The price for each ticket was $150. If Jenny sold all her tickets, how much money did she raise for her school? Let's read that again. Each student in grade 4 was given 10 raffle tickets to sell to raise funds for their school. The price for each ticket was $150. If Jenny sold all her tickets, how much money did she raise for her school? Now, what do we know from this problem, or what information are we given? We know that each child was given 10 tickets. That's a fact. We also know that each ticket, which represents one ticket, cost $150. Now we want to know, how many tickets did Jenny sell? Now if you check back, you will see it said that Jenny sold all her tickets. But you might be saying all is not a number, but it is implied from the beginning of the problem that Jenny had 10 tickets in all, because it said each student in grade 4 was given 10 raffle tickets, and that would have included Jenny as well. So we know Jenny got 10 tickets and she sold all 10 of them. So we have to multiply 150 by 10. Now remember, this is a double-digit multiplication. So you want to ensure that you set it down correctly. So we write 150 multiplied by 10. Now remember, whether you multiply by the ones digit first or you multiply by the tens digit first, there are some simple things that you must remember. First thing, and the most important thing, is that whenever you are multiplying by the 10th digit, you must place a 0 in the ones place before you start multiplying by that digit. So we know that the digit in that number for the tens place is 1. So when we're multiplying by the 1, we have to place that 0 in the ones place. And so the first digit we will multiply the 1 by is 0. So 1 times 0, and that is the 0 from the 150, will give us 0. Now remember, you would have placed that 0 before. So 1 times 0 now is 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. Now we're going to multiply by the digit in the ones place. And this time, you do not place a 0 to hold any position or value because it's ones. So we just multiply. And this should be pretty simple because anything multiplied by 0 will give us 0. So we're now multiplying 150 by 0. So 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 5 is 0. And 0 times 1 is 0. Now we will do our addition because this is a long multiplication. So let's add. So we have in the ones place, 0 plus 0 is 0. Do you have that? In the tens place, we have 0 plus 0, we get 0 again. In the hundreds place, we have 5 plus 0, we get 5. And in the thousands place, we have 1. So when we bring down that 1, because we're not adding it to anything, we bring it down, we have $1,500. So $1,500, or we say $1,500, was the amount of money that Jenny raised for her school. I want you to take a few seconds and look at that problem and how it was solved. Mr. Morningstar gave $3,200 to his 4 children to share equally. How much will each of his children get? Let's read it again. Mr. Morningstar gives $3,200 to his 4 children to share equally. How much will each of his children get? Now, what are the few clues that we will use to solve this problem? We know that he gave them $3,200, but he did not give each of them that. Now we know that if we're going to share, another word we could use is divide. So for this problem, we are going to be using division to find our answer. So let's set down our division problem. We have $3,200 divided by 4. Remember, we are dividing digit by digit. So how many 4s can we get from 3? It would be 0. We will now divide 32 by 4. Now, how many 4s will we get in 32? We know that 4 8s will give us 32. So we have 8. Now we divide 0 by 4. How many 4s will we get from 0? 0. And the next 0, how many 4s will we get from that 0? 0. It doesn't change. So there we see that we now have 800. It therefore means that each child or each of his children will receive $800. Are you seeing that? Now it's time for you to work some money problems on your own. Are you ready? Let's go. I'll read the first one for you. I'll give you a few seconds, and then you will look at how it was solved. Please try your best to give it a try. Jack bought a pair of socks for $250 and a pair of gloves for $550. How much money did he spend altogether? Jack bought a pair of socks for $250 and a pair of gloves for $550. How much money did he spend altogether? Now remember, look for your clue words. Which words help you to understand what exactly you have to do? Look for your money amounts to know the numbers that you have to use so that you will be able to solve the problem. let's look at what you did to solve the first problem. What is it that Jack bought? He bought a pair of socks and he bought some gloves. So, what is it we want to know? We want to know how much money he spent altogether. The socks cost $250 and the gloves cost $550. So, it says how much money did he spend altogether. We know that altogether means that we are putting things together. And that means that we will be doing the addition operation. So let's see. Did you set down your problem the way it is on the screen? Now let's do the addition to see if you're correct. We have 0 plus 0 will give us 0. 5 plus 5 will give us 10. But we will take the 0 and we will put that in our tens column. Now we will add 2 plus 5 will give us 7, and the 1 that is left back from the 10, we put that with the 7, we get 8. So our answer is $800. Jack spent $800 all together. Are you following? Did you get $800? Now let's look at the next problem. Coffee mugs cost $250 each. How much would 5 coffee mugs cost? Now let's see how you did in solving that problem. The problem was coffee mugs cost $250 each. How much would 5 coffee mugs cost? Now remember, the word each indicates 1. So it means that 1 coffee mug costs $250. But we want to know how much would 5 mugs cost. We therefore would multiply 250 by 5. So let's go ahead and see how well you did. 5 times 0 will give us 0. 5 times 5 will give us 25. We will take the 5 from the 25 and we will place it next to the 0. Then we multiply. 5 times 2 will give us 10. The 2 that is left from the 25, we add it to the 10 and we will get 12. So our answer is $1,250. So 5 coffee mugs will cost $1,250. Did you get that answer? Make sure you review the steps to see how the problem was solved. Now, this one should be interesting because I'm sure that everybody likes what we will talk about in this problem. A large pizza costs $2,890 and a small pizza costs $1,520. What is the difference between the price of the large pizza and a small pizza? A large pizza costs $2,890 and a small pizza costs $1,520. What is the difference between the price of the large pizza and the price of the small pizza? So here we're saying that one is more expensive than the other, but what we want to determine is how more expensive is the one from the other. So we're trying to find the difference in cost. The word difference, if you would remember some of your lessons which were done earlier, you would remember that the word difference implies or indicates that subtraction be done. So in this problem, to solve it, we will have to do subtraction. So let's go. Remember, for our subtraction solving, we always have to put the larger number at the top. So we're taking the smaller number from the larger number. So we have 2,890 minus 1,520. So let's go ahead and do our subtraction to find out what is the difference. So we have 0 from 0, we get 0. 2 from 9, we get 7. 5 from 8, we get 3. And 1 from 2, we get 1. So our answer is 1,370. The difference between the price of the large pizza and the small pizza is $1,370. Did you get that one correct? Okay. If you didn't, you have time to practice and review the lesson to see how to solve the problem. Let's try solving our last worded problem. 5 pounds of tomatoes cost $1,550. How much does 1 pound of tomatoes cost? 5 pounds of tomatoes cost $1,550. How much does 1 pound of tomatoes cost? Remember, I gave you the cost of 5 pounds. And now we only want to know what was the cost of 1 pound. So we simply have to divide the 1,550 by 5. So did you set down your division problem? So we have 1,550 divided by 5. So let's go. We have 5 into 1, we will get 0. So now we divide 15 by 5. How many 5s can we get from 15? 3. Our next digit, we have 5 divided by 5, which would give us 1. And then 0 divided by 5 will be 0. Our answer there is $310. So 1 pound tomatoes will cost $310. Now in this problem per se, there is something we can do to see whether or not our answer is correct. Now that we know, or we're saying from the operation that we did, that 1 pound of tomato is $310, we can now multiply that same $310 by 5 to see if we will get back 1,550. So you could take the time, try it on your own, and see if you got that. If you did, your answer is absolutely correct. So there we have it. I hope that you got most of the steps, if not all, correct. And as I always say, you have the time, practice, and you will become better. Well, that's it for our lesson on money today and calculating money. If you're sent to the shop or you have your own money, try calculating as you go about your everyday activity. Also, remember to stay safe. Remember that we can use different notes and different coins to come up with any amount of money. Remember, we could also add, subtract, multiply, and divide money. It is always a pleasure to have you on the Mathematics Workshop. So until next time, I'm Miss Shamshaleen saying goodbye.